Hello, good afternoon, media respectable and responsible fellow citizens of the Republic of Sierra Leone. This now our sister once again, Sister Rugi from London, the CEO and founder of the Advocates for Good Governance Sierra Leone. We're a registered organization based in Sierra Leone. The date today, now the 19th February 2022. This afternoon, I want to use this opportunity and our podium once more on behalf of the Advocates for Good Governance Sierra Leone for try to capture the attention of meaningful Sierra Leoneans and respectfully remind them, including the SLPP government, where particularly in governance, about the importance of freedom of speech. So, freedom of speech. Why freedom of speech? Very important within a democratic society and or any given society, where particularly one for focus on development, the one for focus on going forward, the one for make sure that they listen to the cry of the citizens and our Sierra Leoneans. Now at the topic this afternoon where I want for country for address. Freedom of speech within the democratic context, within a democratic society. Now, in particular, they come address. Freedom of speech, particularly, now a platform and or an opportunity where citizens, them, such as Sierra Leoneans, including myself, where we they maximize for the benefit of others, where we they maximize if we feel say things need to go right, where we they maximize if we feel say the current government of the day, the SLPP, they try for compromise. The things them were particularly let me not talk about my own manifesto. Or what we particularly feel say things need to go right. And because we feel say things need to go right, then obviously now an opportunity where we they use once more for speak out, for tell them say yes. These are the things them where we know they feel happy about. These are the things that we particularly need their attention. These are the things that we urgently need for to be addressed. We're not going able to do them if we will not get the freedom of speech opportunity and our platform. So, however, if freedom of speech compromise or any party of the day in the Republic of Sierra Leone attempts once more for compromise freedom of speech, then you realize that many things they go wrong. You realize that particular government they not prepare for listen. You realize that particular government they don't begin to do things them were contrary to their manifesto or were even contrary to the Constitution, the Sierra Leone Constitution 1991. Freedom of speech. Any government of the day once more will attempt for compromise freedom of speech. Obviously, they not begin restrict with liberty of freedom. They not restrict with liberty for speak. They not restrict with liberty for law not contributes in any given society and or democratic society. They not begin to restrict and or compromise democracy in this regard. Freedom of speech is a way where we use as Sierra Leoneans and our citizens for we express ourselves freely, and it is very important where it be say if freedom of speech is introduced and or encouraged in any democratic society, once more, it will help us for bring a change. It will help us for bring development. It will help us for how we country progress. In addition to this, once more, freedom of speech once more now a way what would they use, a platform what would they use for reinforce other human rights, for allow society for grow and or progress and or for go forward. We're able for them to freedom of speech. Again, freedom of speech is necessary once more for let we go use them for all government into account. Without freedom of speech, then obviously any government of the day don't compromise the Sierra Leoneans and our citizens them for law will not hold them into account. Through freedom of speech, then obviously we go able for use the opportunity there once more for all any government of the day into account. If they misuse, abuse the resources and our government funds. We go able for do them through freedom of speech. Once more, any government of the day where attempts for compromise freedom of speech, then obviously they don't attempt for shut down the citizens. They don't attempt for completely suppress and or oppress the citizens them. So that the citizens they are not going able for use the opportunity. They once more for speak out, for challenge them, for hold them into account, for hold them responsible for any mismanaged funds, for all them responsible for any abused government funds, for all them responsible for anything what they do contrary to what the Constitution say and or to what they own particularly manifesto stated. We not go able to do that if we not get freedom of speech. And any government of the day once more in the Republic of Sierra Leone where attempts for shut down freedom of speech, then obviously they don't begin structure their own government for become a failure government. Because you get to know the problem of the individual before you go able for them in a better position for address them. You get to know the problem, the cry of the citizens. When you know the problem, then obviously from the problem where you don't know, you're able to draw the solution. From the solution where you're able to draw, then obviously you're able to put implementation and or methods in place for make sure say you resolve the problems them. But if you not create the opportunity for listening to the citizens then cry, you not create the opportunity to listen to the citizens then call, you not create the opportunity for hearing for the voices of the common and ordinary people to be heard. You not create the opportunity for let the citizens to express themselves, they express their dissatisfaction when things they go right. Then obviously that government they don't become structure itself or become a failure government. Once more, listen to the cry of the citizens. Listen to the problem of the citizens. Understand the problems of the citizens. Understand the reason why the citizens and they cry. Understand the problems why the citizens and they constantly they complain. From there, once more, you go able to do a solution. You go able to forget an idea and or forget solution. And when you get a solution, once more you go able to create a convenient pathway for know what side changes are needed, what side urgent attention is needed, what side structures needed to be put in place, what side changes and or amendments are needed to the problems where you don't understand. But if you now create a pathway and an opportunity for listening to the problems to understand the problem, then obviously it's like the book where they call the title Things Fall Apart. Things are not begin fall apart in this regard. So any government of the day in the Republic of Sierra Leone, we're particularly waiting for give freedom of speech, for make sure say yes, then provide the opportunity of freedom of speech. And not just to provide the opportunity once again and ignore the problems of the citizens and or common and or ordinary citizens, but for listening to them cry, then obviously you don't begin to open an inclusive pathway, inclusive platform, inclusive governance for Leona for come together as Sierra Leoneans, as citizens, for amend with problems them where they monarchy, where they make with they cry, where they make with them at the social media, where particularly when we desperately try for seek the kind attention of any government of the day. Any president and or government will compromise freedom of speech. Then obviously, that government they don't begin to compromise development. That government they don't begin to compromise progress. That government they don't begin to compromise for let we country go before. And they don't create a convenient pathway for become failure once again. Freedom of speech is very essential in the political aspect, in the political system, in any democratic society and or civilized society once again. Let me remember, you and I, we don't forget the opportunity once more for speak freely, for let we go able to express ourselves, for let we go able to express our opinion, for let we go able to express our views, for let we go able to express the things that we particularly will not feel happy about. For now, we're going to cry out. And once more, the responsibility of any government of the day is for listen. Listen and understand the problem. Listen and try for act accordingly. Listen and try for act for make amendments where necessary. Listen and try for make sure say we now put methodologies once more for introduce changes. For for puts development. Listen, and listen very carefully for know why una citizens then they cry. Otherwise, obviously, una don dey at a high risk, very high potential for become a failure. Any government of the day will try for trample on the freedom of speech, freedom of expression is very important. You and I, once more, go make Sierra Leone a better place to live. Yes, we can. On behalf of the advocates for good governance Sierra Leone, I say thank you so very much for giving me una audience once more. Una stay blessed. May God bless the Republic of Sierra Leone. And God bless the advocates for good governance Sierra Leone. Sister Ruby.